Welcome to my boudoir. This is Ben Rogers, this is the Property Diary, this is Friday the 9th of November. Hey, this is the hotel, it's a Holiday Inn Express in Norwich. Just arrived here, it's about 11 o'clock Friday evening, and to be honest I'm absolutely shattered. It has been a manic day. I say manic day, it's been a day of spending most of it in the car. Left home this morning at about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I was unlucky enough to get caught in a fairly nasty accident on the M1 today. Nasty in that I got stuck in it, unfortunately nasty for somebody else because they almost lost their life, but it was a 7-car pile up on the M1. It was about 600 yards in front of me, involved lots of police vehicles, ambulances, fire engines, 2 air ambulances, and the motorway being shut for 4 hours. So when I was due to get to my appointment up in Leeds at 1, I actually got there at about 3, having left at 6 in the morning. Anyway, enough of that rubbish. One of the interesting things that came out of sitting in the traffic is that, of course, kind of everybody gets out in that sort of British spirit and starts walking along the hard shoulder and chatting, etc. I'm in my car, I get a knock on the window. This guy is from the car next to me. And he said, I couldn't help but miss your bright yellow ugly car. I take it you're in property. Anyway, long story short, it turns out he's only the MD of a Knightsbridge property company that has over 1,000 properties, and his comment was, I wonder if we can do some business together. Well, there you go. We're due to speak early next week to have a bit more of a chat and find out, if we can do anything. So that's quite interesting. However, on the way up this morning, I have a couple of mentoring calls on a Friday morning, one of which is Martin, that you've heard me speak of before. He's the guy with the big Y, and he's got a very clear reason why he's doing property, and that's because he's got a boat and he wants to go off sailing in 3, 4, 5 years. Just a quick update on Martin. He's really pleased that he thinks he's probably got his first flat on an option today, so that's great. It sounds like it's kind of on the cusp of being sort of negative equity, or just literally sort of equal to what the mortgage is, and that's because it's that classic Northern Rock loan and an unsecured loan on it as well. But again, if you look at the reason why the owner wants to sell, a landlord, it's kind of in negative cash flow on the property. It's a pain, it's just become empty, there might be a little bit of work to be done to it. So it's a lot easier for Martin to take it off the guy's hands rather than him to deal with it. So it's interesting, just find motivated sellers. And this just happens to be a friend, I believe, of his daughter's boyfriend or something. So it's interesting how this sort of stuff comes around. Actually, something I probably will do another video on this, but it's all about debt collectors. Martin's been looking at a potential debt collection franchise, and we're just chatting it through, and we came to the conclusion that actually to take on something like that really is just another job. Now, if you're investing in property, do you want to invest in property and make money from the assets that you have, or do you want to go out and get another job to exchange your time for money? And Self-Mind pretty much came to the conclusion that's not what he wanted to do, and it might be easier to work with some debt consultants rather than go out and be one yourself. The other thing is that, and this comes back to something I probably mentioned to you before, I don't necessarily chase after people who are in financial troubles. I'd much rather work with people who've got a different set of motivations. You've probably heard me talk about this before. And in my experience, in the old days when we were doing a lot of BMV stuff, it was all about financial strife and the proverbial creek without a paddle. Whereas nowadays, the motivation is emigrating, moving because they've got a new job, going through a marital split, whatever it is, it's a motivation to move on from the house rather than a financial necessity to do so. And one of the things we're going to do next week, and again I probably will do a video on this as well, it's all about leafleting. So we're going to work a plan of action, get his leafleting set up, etc, etc. So that'll be a busy old week. So well done, Martin, good action, well done. So yeah, spent a lot of time sitting on a motorway, going nowhere. Had a very interesting chat with a complete stranger that the only reason he came across me is because I've got a bright yellow silly car. Who knows what opportunities there are with them. Then I've had a great meeting up in Leeds today. Can't really sort of tell you much about it other than it could create a massive amount of opportunities, and it's something I'm doing with another couple of guys that you probably know as well. So good day. I'm now actually up in Norwich. I'm actually presenting tomorrow on stage with likes of Yvonne Emery and Jill Fielding at the Norwich Buy-to-Let Expo that John Taylor's putting on up here. So that should be a good event. There's, I think, 300-400 odd landlords and property investors coming along to that. So looking forward to a good day there as well. But to be honest, it's gone 11 o'clock. I'm absolutely shattered from sitting in the car all day long. I think it's about time for me to tuck down and say goodnight. So from Ben Rogers and the Property Diary, this is Friday 9th of November. I'll speak to you later. Take care. Have a nice weekend.